All right, cool. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to believe you can hear me, you can see me. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay, I see a few folks are already here. Okay, for those who were advocating for, please, can you hear me and can you see? Can you hear me? Just to check in if you can hear before I continue. All right. So, all right, cool. So I see a few folks can hear me, so I believe every other person can. All right, cool. Okay, first and foremost, just to apologize for those who were more of advocates for an in-person class. The challenge is the in-person class, as you all could see, was only serving just 4% of the class. Yeah, and over 90% of the class were really missing out, and it's a bit challenging to have these conversations, and then as much as 90% have missed out on the class, and you are still talking. So I'm going to try my best to recap everything we did in the last class, and thereafter, we're going to go ahead to get into today's class. Now, if you missed the last class and then you could not really make sense from a lot of what we did in class because you were online, I have recorded a session which I have asked someone to help me proofread or proof listen before I upload it for you. So it covers, the session I recorded this morning covers everything from last week to what we are going to do today. Yeah. So I would share that with you, and then you can use that to make sense of what we did last week and what we also are going to do today. And then after that, by tomorrow, by next week, we're going to do a whole lot more. Okay, for today, I'm going to try to wrap up what we did with the select statement, and I would show you how to create a view. Now, particularly for those who were not in class, I'm going to talk very briefly about what a view is. Yeah? Now, you see, when an organization, let's say, and again, another thing I would share with you guys on Wednesday, because I know you would need it in your journey to becoming an analyst, is what you call normalization. Yeah, if you have time to read it, please do. But if you cannot, I would still share a link for something you should read by Wednesday. It's called normalization. It's a skill I feel you should know, because there will be nobody would pay you for ignorance. Yeah. And for you to be a good analyst, you also need to understand about the whole concept around normalization of data. All right. Now, I started talking about it in our first class, but I'm going to bring in a colleague who works in that engineering space, and then he's going to do a full vlog on what you need to know as regarding normalization of data. Yeah? Okay, I feel this will make your understanding a lot more broader, deeper about the journey you are coming into. Now, let's get started. I would start with the same statement I started last week. And that statement said that there are 4 basic operations. Did you hear the word basic? Yeah? These are the 4 basic operations that are being done on a persistent data or persistent storage, sorry. Yeah? Okay. Now, what are the 4 basic operations done on persistent storage. And you know, a database is a persistent storage, which means a storage that you save something for use later, persistent. Yeah. All right. Now, what does the whole CRUD thing means? C means create, R means read, U means update, and then D means delete. All right. I hope you got that. Okay, cool. Again, I'm going to reiterate the fact that these are the 4 basic operations you will do in your day-to-day life as an analyst. The first of them being create means you can create a data. You can create data. Yeah. And even though we haven't spoken deep about it, that file that we shared earlier in the last class where you had to come to this place, remember that file? Let me show you. You opened it from here. This file I shared with you, create database. Yeah, we will look at it in our next class. But in the interim, before we go into looking at it, you can just open it even though you don't have to run it. Yeah, there you go. Now you see that's the create statement. You see there's a lot of create statement happening in here. All right, cool. So that's one of the that's the create, where you create the data. Now, another work you would do, but it's not really in your place as an analyst to be very much involved in the creation of data. However, it will be good for you to know. Yeah? In your work as an analyst, this is where you would spend much of your time reading a data. Yeah? So, in reading a data, while create in SQL is create, reading in SQL is not create, it's called select. It means you're trying to select something. All right, cool. Now, again, if someone has already created a data, perhaps they created a data where they saved Isaac Chima as a female. And then you realize that the name of Isaac Chima was wrongly saved as a female. What you could do is to come in right here and use the update operation to make that manipulation. Yeah. So we'll look at this also next week. Update. Now, let's say, for example, that mistakenly Yusuf Nabani had his entry. They entered your name for a class that you did not register for. Again, you could come in here and then use the delete operations and delete. Again, for the 3, create, update, and delete, we will discuss them next week, Saturday. Primarily, where your work will sit as an analyst is here. When it comes to creating, updating, and deleting, that's largely the work of an engineer, the data engineer. But if you're going to work for a smaller firm, you may crisscross roles, which is the reason why you might need to learn everything you need to know about creating, reading, updating, and deleting. These are the basic operations you need to know, have your hands dirty with in your journey as an analyst. All right, cool. Okay. So that's the first thing you need to do. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to wipe this out. So where are we going to spend ourselves on today again? We will brush off what we did last week, and then we're going to go into more today. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about today, before we exit the class, it's this beautiful thing called a view. Look at it, a view. Now, interesting. So what is a view? A view is, now, you see, these are databases. Sakila, SQL, HR, SQL inventory. You see, this symbol here means a database. And you see, each of these databases, if you open them, they consist of what? Tables. Look at this, the actor table, address table, category, city, and all that. Yeah, okay. The reason why I want you guys to have your hands dirty with understanding what normalizations do is the reason why they broke a database into all these number of tables. Okay, good job. Now, but I don't want us to spend any time there. It's not our business for today to get dirty with that. But what I want us to spend time talking about is the fact that, think about the fact that all of you have lives as family members. You have a life in the workplace. You have a life in the workplace. David, please, let's leave this attendance thing. It has a way of distracting the class. Everybody should know that by now. Let's not make it, it has a way of distracting people. Yeah, please. Let's just focus so that we finish up. Everybody knows they have to do that, so don't bother about it. Okay? Now, you have a life as a student. You have a life as a family person. You have a life in your community where you live. You have a life in the workplace where you belong. Now, it's either you have a religious life or you may not. Yeah, which is, it depends. So, you also have sociocultural things you belong in. That's about 5 different types of lives. Yeah? Now, from these 5 different types of lives, you might want to, let's say you're going to meet the president tomorrow morning. What you would have to do, my friends, is you will pull yourself together and you would straddle different types of your personality. Now, you might bring in your spiritual side. If you're a spiritual person, you will bring in your intellect side. If you're an intellect person, you will bring in your family side, just in case the conversations come from anywhere. Good job. Now, you create views when you want to harness different tables, in a database into one view. Yeah? So you want to harness the customer, the country, the film actor, the film category. You want to pull all these in and then create one table. If you are having problems with installing SQL, Udo was helping everyone on that. So, and there was another guy, gentleman, who was helping everyone on that. Sadiq, is it Sadiq? Please reduce the distractions here. People are on that group trying to help. So you reach out to them so that we don't have to go back and forth. And someone is talking about Tableau assessment. Guys, please, I'm monitoring the comments to get relevant questions. Please leave these conversations from here. There is people on that group trying to help everyone sort things out. So please, let's keep distractions away. Well done. Okay. So where did we stop? Now, the next thing that we talked about, you're trying to straddle all of these personalities and then show a common view. So what you will do, guys, so that's when you create a view. We're going to see what I'm saying in a few bits. So let's get started talking about the job we did last week. I will rush over last week. Yeah, I told you guys I've already created something for you. If you want, you can go back and look at that. I will rush over last week and move straight into this week. Okay, for those who were not here last week, so let's start with, look at this place, everyone. Look at this. You have different databases here. Now, for you to decide on which database you want to use, it's very simple. You could either click here. By clicking, if you notice, the schema at the lower end recognizes what database you want to work with. If I click on HR, it pops that one here. It means I'm currently working on the SQL HR stuff. Now, let's say you don't like the idea of clicking what you want to work with. You could as well do this. Say use SQL underscore HR. If you run this, like I have done now, it will automatically activate the SQL HR. So whether you click to recognize it or you use the use statement, you are absolutely correct. Okay. The next thing we talked about was the fact that since this is an only statement in this query tab, this is a query tab where you allow us to run queries. Since we actually running these as an only statement, it's okay if we leave it the way it is. However, if you want to go a step further, you could put the semicolon that allows you to run many more statements. All right. So the only one I'm going to reintroduce again is the select statement. So select, when you use the asterisk, we said it means what? Everything. And then from, now, from customers. You see, this code, if we try running it, let's run. It gives us an error. The question is, why do we have an error? I hope you can see the error. I'm going to raise this up a little. All right. It's an error. Why do we have an error? We have an error because at the moment, the active database here is the what? SQL HR. And if you want to see anything from that HR table database, you can open the tables. In the tables there are only two tables there, employees and offices. Yeah? So because of that, this returns an error. Okay. Now, but when you have many tables like this, or many databases like this, and you want to work, a good rule of thumb could be the fact that you clearly stipulate the database you are calling from. So this is what I'm going to simply do, and then we'll take it up from there. So SQL store.this. Yeah? So I clearly captured SQL store dot customers, selected this and ran the file. And there you go. We have ourselves, the query has returned answers. Now let's look at the answers that we have. There are 10 of them. And this is where we started our journey last week. So the screen is showing clearly. I don't know if I'm getting you right. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Okay. All right. Now, if you got me up to this point, then we can go into our where we left off in our last meeting. I think where we left up in our last meeting was the use of not. Am I right? I think it was the use of not and all that. Okay, so this is where we are. Now, we said that select is the query that reads. From talks about the source. Is not clear. Mayidi MB. I don't know what exactly you are saying. Say it clearly. Okay, so we're saying that select is the query, from is the source to which I missed some point. I'm actually going over last week's class. So if you missed some point, I don't know what exactly you missed. I'm going to just try again. But I'm not sure you were in the beginning from the class, from the beginning, because if you were there, you would have gotten where we are coming from. Could you explain again how the query returned answers? Elijah, this query just simply says select the asterisk here says every field. That's what that asterisk means. It means every field from a table called customers. And that table called customers is in a database called SQL store. So that's simple and straightforward. Please, I will share with you guys the recorded video in the interest of those who were not there in the last class, because I don't want us going too back. Yeah. What software can I use in Mac, sir? Same MySQL. Yeah. Speak to Tobe. He will help you guys fix installation issues. Please, I noticed that the challenge that we are really having is some of us are not even on that group. Some of us are not on the group. We don't follow anything on the group. We just throw questions, and it's harder to answer like that because most times all the answers you want are already in that group. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. Having said that, should we continue? Daily password. Okay. Now, should we continue? The next thing that we left off yesterday in the last class was the where statement. So in this case, we're going to say where, and the where statement is a filter statement. Is a filter statement. So we're going to say where birthday. So birth date, you see, I could just pick it up. The system recognizes what I'm trying to do. Is actually greater than, you see the condition I'm going to give it now, it's greater than, I'm going to use 1989. Got that? Put 0101. So 1st of January 1981. You have to put this in colon. I think I mentioned that also in the last class. Now, where birthday is greater than this date and birth date, I'm going to copy this, is less than, let's use 1992. So now let's stay with this. Which says where birth date is greater than this and where birth date is less than this. This is a condition. Now, if you select this and run, watch this. There is only one customer that has okay. Now, there is only one customer, as you can see, that has their birthday between this period, and that customer is Elka. Yeah? Good. Now we could go down here and influence this to perhaps 87 and run this code again. Still the same person. So let's increase this to, let's say 94, or let's even say 95, and run this again, and we have 3 people. Now, don't forget, the where statement is a filter statement. I'm going to take the time out and introduce to you guys an alternative to the where statement. But before I go on to do that, I want to show you something. Look at this. You see, for this statement to have passed, to be true, this had to be correct and these had to be correct. So everything here is greater than these dates. Everything here, their birthdays are greater than this date. And everything that has been churned out, their birthdays are less than this date. All right, cool. So it has to satisfy this, and it has to what? Satisfy this. Now, alternatively, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to repaste this. Now, for some of you who may not be aware, said my screen is blurry. I'm actually monitoring this in another laptop, and it doesn't show that my skin is blurry at all. So please check on your end, because I'm monitoring this on a second laptop on my table. Yeah, there is only one Telegram group. Yeah. So increase the quality of your system. I think it's fully on the increase. Please check your end. My screen is okay, not blurry at all. Thank you, Emmanuel. My screen is very okay here. Thank you, Abubakar. All right, so please check on your end. Okay, so let's continue. Now, instead of using these, I remember if you want to turn something, you don't want a statement to run, you can turn a statement into what you call a... Now, you can turn a statement into a comment by simply doing this. Put hyphens, 2 hyphens, or is it a dash dash? You call it, yeah, a dash dash. So 2 dashes, and this becomes a comment. A comment in programming means a statement that cannot run. It's only there to explain or give context. So if this means this statement can't run, all right. Now, instead of this, I could use something like this. So I'm going to say where birth date, I'll remove the comparison operator and use between. So between these and this. Okay, what this means, my friend, is that we can remove the comparison and the and bring in the between operator. You don't run SQL on Tableau, my friend. You run SQL on my SQL. I'll talk about that statement later. I'm sure you have not even listened to our first video from last week's class. Okay. Okay, what is giving you an error? I'm sure you've made a mistake. Okay, I'm going to explain a few things. Now I'm going to run this and you will get exactly the same outcome. Now, before I continue, allow me to quickly touch on this, my friends. The first thing I will touch on is the fact that SQL, as it were, is not case sensitive. So even if you wrote these as select with small letters, this will still run perfectly. This will still run perfectly. Yeah? Now, but in as much as it is not case sensitive, a good rule is that all SQL methods or functions should be written with capital letters. Likewise, even if we turn this customer into capital C, it wouldn't change anything. The system will still be able to read that and give you an outcome because it is not case sensitive. Okay. So we've introduced a new function called the between function. And you see the between function can actually replace the and function. Okay, so let's look at something else. Now we're going to try again using the same code, but this time around using something completely different. And whenever you want to use another query, what do? You stop the first query by putting a semicolon. You always highlight to run statements. Yes, because I have many statements in front. But again, if you stand at the end of a statement like this and then run a statement, it will still give you what you want. Yeah. If you just run a statement, the last query might run. But if I want to run something different like this one, I have to highlight it to run. But if I just click outside anywhere and run a statement like this, you're likely going to have the last statement there running. So this statement will run instead. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good question, though. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the in statement. Now, what if we said something like this? So we said, where I'm going to use the word where. I'll change this to, well, birthday is this, and let me use point. I'm going to use where point is greater than 2000 and where point is less than 500. All right, so I won't use and this time. I want to use the word or. Yeah. I mean, that's how. Please, sir, how did you move down by got another row? Please show me the way to my trial. Thank you. Hassan, I just moved down like by clicking this down and then a new line comes. Normal, like you're typing something. Yeah. Does that make sense? So I'm typing a new query now. So I'm saying select this from store where birthday is less than 500. Sorry, I want to use point here. So I'm going to use point, this point, or perhaps we should just use something different. Just use state. So I want to say where state is equals to, let's say state is equals to Virginia. We can as well say where state is equals to, so where state is, hold on, I'm trying to make more room here for us. So you have, yeah, SQL is very much like basic programming, Emmanuel. It's very simple programming. So where state is Virginia or state is, let's use Massachusetts, or state is Georgia. Yeah, look at this. So we're saying select everything from SQL store or customer where state is equals to either what? It is not case sensitive. I've said that already. It is not case sensitive, but your spellings have to be correct. Yeah? Where state is equals to Virginia, or state equals to Massachusetts, or state is equals to Georgia. If you select these and run this code, so I'm using the OR function now. Are you seeing how we use the OR function? You can see that the query returns every entry where state is either Massachusetts, Virginia, or Georgia. Yeah. However, this is not the best case in itself. Imagine having to choose like 10 different states. Imagine having to choose like 10 different states. What is going to be the challenge here? The challenge here will be the fact that you write several ors. Several ors. Okay, for those who are having problem with running their code, I will do something towards the end of the class. I wish there's a way you can share your screen. We can all look at what you are doing. Yeah. So maybe you record whatever you are having problems with and then record it and then share on the group. Yeah, and we will talk to you, Ahmad. Now, the next thing that can happen here is if I don't want to use this where clause with the or, I could use it in another nice way. A simpler way to write this would be to write where. Again, notice what I have done. I have actually made the state, this line, become a comment. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is where state, I'm going to bring in a new function. It's called the in function. In. Now, if you did arrays, you would appreciate this also. So we're going to open you can just follow for the class. I would appreciate if you follow us for the class. Just follow, don't worry. Some things you would never really understand them on your first attempt. Follow for the class, just see what is going on. When you rewatch it again, when I send you the link, because it's fully compiled from start to finish, it's less than an hour, 30 minutes, really. Yeah. So when you rewatch it again, I'm telling you, you will pick up everything that you are working on. Yeah. Where can I download the database? Bashar, I'm sure you were not in class last week. That's why you're asking that question. That was sent on the group. You guys are asking the wrong questions. Okay. So close this. Where state in, you see how we use the in function? Two line space row, two. So what is the essence of giving out two line space row as I see in that twice? If you mean the two lines I'm giving space here, I'm just putting a distinction between each query and the next query. Yeah? Because why I'm giving that distinction, it's because the reason why I'm giving that, the reason why I am giving that, what do you call it, distinction is because it is, I'm writing several queries for the class, yeah? Writing several queries, so I'm just giving the distinction. There is nothing in it, yeah? Most times you don't need to write, you don't write plenty queries in one query tab. In real life, you will know what you're looking for and you write one query, yeah, or two. Yeah, so this is just for training purposes. So I'm just building the write-up. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so instead of using this where or, I said state in this. Yeah, so we can select these and we can run. Again, you will get exactly the same outcome. Exactly the same outcome. Now, perhaps you think perhaps it's something different I'm supposed to get here. I could norm this. How do we norm? You make this become what? A comment. Yeah? And then I run this code. Everything comes out. So I'm going to change the GA and I'm going to put CO. I'm going to change MA. I'm going to put Florida. Yeah? And then I'll remove the comment from it. Select this, run it. Now, you can see we have Florida now, we have Connecticut, we have Virginia, and then just as it's in the in statement. Okay. Now, you see, I have been able to walk you guys through how to use the between statement and how to use the in statement. I have also shown you how to write comments in SQL. There are instances where you want to make what you call a block of comments. Like, because I don't want to be bothered about all the things I have in here, I could come here, look at this, my friends, please stay with me. Use the forward slash asterisk. Did you notice that? Forward slash asterisk. Then I'm going to come to where I want it to stop. I will use an asterisk again, and I will use a forward slash. You see, by putting a forward slash asterisk here, look at it here, right here, and also using the asterisk before another slash, I have created this place to be a block of comment, a block of comment. It means that this can never run as a query any longer. It is now a comment. My question will be, when do you use comments? Yeah. Does comment and semicolon carry out the same function? No, sir. A comment is like you're passing a comment. You don't want it to run. Like, I'm sure you've, okay, I think you should do this for me. Write it down on your notebook. Write, check the meaning of comment in programming languages. Everything you write in a programming language is called a syntax. Yeah, everything you write is a syntax. Like, if I'm talking to you now, I'm trying to pass an information. However, there are times when I might tell you, don't record me, and I pass a comment. That's not executable. That's the key word, that's the word for it. It's not executable. Semicolons are used to stop a statement or a query. Like now, as it means this is the end of a query. Yeah? Semicolons mean this is the end of a query. Now, but comments are used to what means don't execute this. So if you run this file now, even if you run this file 100 times, the only query that can run is this query, because that's the only query on this place. I've blocked off every other query. Every other query is now a comment. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. Is there anyone who is struggling, who is sincerely struggling, but you've been listening from the beginning and you were in last week's class and they are sincerely struggling? Yeah, those are the ones I want to attend to, not the ones who are asking questions that means they were not in last week's class, and they are not here either. Okay, so I get the feedback. I don't have any negative feedback at the moment. I'm waiting for a negative feedback. You were here in the class. The class is much better today. Okay. Guild order that might want to go through your codes later. Yeah, another good use of comment. So yeah, that's a good feedback. Another good use of comment is that you may want to explain to people what you were writing on. Yeah, so if somebody's reading your code, he will also get a good leave of what you are trying to talk about. Well, please write it down. That's your assignment for today. Check all the use of comments in programming languages. All right. So we've looked at the between and we've looked at the in operator. Allow us to go in now. I was in class, but sincerely lost. Mike, what I would think you have not done is you made no effort to listen to the class last week. So when I send you the link that carries yesterday and today's class, I would like you to pay attention on, try to study the video, at least study that video for twice, so that by the third class, you will not be sincerely lost. Yeah? Please give it some attention. No one becomes an analyst just having tea and bread. Trust me. It's work to get used to all these things. So if you're not using it every day, you won't get far with it. So thank God we have a deal. So let's see how this pans out, me and you. I'll be looking out for your feedback next week. All right, so let's talk about the like operator. So this is how it's written, like operator. I'm going to make it a comment because I don't want it to run. Yeah, remember we said read about what a comment means. Okay, what does the like operator do? Again, I'm still going to stick with this line of code. So select from, again, I hope you guys know that the fact that we've been saying select everything, so all the columns, we can as well narrow this down because you don't really need all the columns. All you may need might be customer ID. Yeah. So you might have customer ID. You might need first name. Let's say first name. Make sure your spellings are correct because that's the big deal. It's not case sensitive, but the spellings are very important. Birthday, birth date. Okay, let's add two more things. Phone. And then let's add points. So we're actually trying to narrow into what we are interested in. A few columns. Yeah. So just a few columns where we are interested in. So I can select these and I can run. So you see, when I run this, I have column, customer ID, first name, birth date, phone, and points. There you go. Okay, just the ones I selected. Okay. Now, there are times when all you are trying to do, my friends, let's add one more here. Let's add last name. So I'm going to add last name to the mix. Now, there are times when what you are trying to get into, or the filter, again, remember the where clause is a filter clause. Yeah. So we're going to say where last name. So let's use last name now. Last name. Now, we're trying a new operator called like. Now, the like operator uses two unique characters. And those characters are three of them, though. Let's go. These are the one it uses. I don't know what you guys call this character, and I can't even think about it. Yeah? What do you call that character? It uses this. It uses the percentage sign. I've not been able to figure out that name. I just forgot the name. But and what other one? It uses this sign. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how the like operator works. So let's see. So it's going to say like, poof, which is the apostrophe, raised to power, I think exponential. I think that's the correct name for it. Yeah, exponential. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking of it this morning. I couldn't even think about it. Just left it off. So like, and I'm going to say B percentage. Now the question is, what does percentage mean? Now what this thing means is when you select these, I'm going to run this code for you to see. I'm going to select these, run it. You see, the condition of filtering, the where clause is actually the filter clause. Don't forget that. The condition of filtering says like B percentage, all of them within apostrophes. Yeah. Now, this is what you've got. So it says every last name that starts with B. That's what it means. Percentage means any number of characters can go. So if you look at what this has filtered out, what the query has returned, all the last name here starts from what? B. Now, can you write it all in one line like this? Yes, you can. You can, but if you need a tidy work, you might need to write it in a way that it's tidy and easy to read. So if you could write it like this, it will still give you the same outcome. Yeah, this will still give you the same outcome like what we did, like this. Run it, and you will get exactly the same outcome. But you see, the like operator says everything between everything that every number, B, last name must start with a B, and then have every other thing after a B. Okay. Now, I'm going to take these off for now, run the entire query, and see where it takes us. So back here, I'll bring this back. Now, if I want to try out the exponential goes this way. So I have to put, you see, when it comes to the percentage, you put it at the back because it's every other character before B. Now, but to use the exponential, you have to put it in front like this. And let's see how that will work. So I'm going to say, I wouldn't want to use a B. Let's see. I'm going to use an N this time, and then I would explain what it means to you. So I'm selecting these and I'm running it. So that did not, there was no outcome. Let's see a Y. All right, I think I've mixed up something. Okay, turn it around. Why don't we have this? Hold on, take this off. Let's see whether there are any numbers that have that example. Last names that end with a Y. Okay, I see. Okay. All right. No, I'll take this off, friends. Allow me to take this off and bring this. I think I made a mistake. This doesn't work for it. So use the, what do you call it? The underscore. So I'm going to use the underscore. So it's only two characters that work for like, which is underscore and the percentage. Now, what this does is, so I'm going to use it this way. Sorry, I think I've mixed my thoughts up. Okay. I'm going to bring the underscore, but here would be first name because that's where it applies. Okay. Now let me run this and then explain it to you. Run this. Okay. You see the like? I said there are two things it works with. There are two characters it works with. It works with underscore and it works with percentage. Underscore and percentage. So the underscore means a single character. A single character. And the only thing that meets this requirement is LCA. Yeah, so first name like E underscore LCA. You see, the like is a very limited operator. It's a very limited operator. Instead of using the like, I would introduce you to what you call the regex, regular expression. Yeah, I prefer this one to the like, but it's still good that you know a few of these things. So just in case you see them somewhere. So I'm going to take this one off. And then let me introduce you to what the regex looks like. It's a better. Now, for the regex, it uses a lot more characters. One of them is the one we were trying to use before. Yeah. Another one is the percentage. Another one is this. So we have three characters we can manipulate today. Okay, so let's see how this works. Now, the first thing you can try out is, I'm going to copy these. So I'm going to say, take this off for now. Select these. Did I miss anything? SQL, run this. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to say we want to look for every last name that has field in it. That has field in it. So let's try that. We're going to use last name, or let's say something like Lee, L-E-Y, or what other one do we have? Let's use something that repeats too, S-E. Any last name that has something like these in it. So I'm going to change this to regex. So regular expression. Yeah. So look at this. If we select these and run it, the system searches itself to find out any last name that has SE. Now you have confused me as usual. What did I confuse you with? All right, I'm going to go over it again. Apologies, Abubakar. I'm going back again. I was talking about the like operator. And I said the like operator uses only two types of characters to do its manipulation. And then I wrote out the two characters here, one of them being what? Underscore. Can you see that? I hope you can now, so that I don't confuse you. And then the second one is what? The percentage. I hope that makes sense. You got me up to that point. Now, where do we use the like operator? We use it with filters. My where is showing that it's not working. I'm sure there's a mistake on your end. So we said first name. The two ways we can use this, please stay with me. First name, like. Now, when you use the underscore, basically what you have there for the underscore is actually, it means a single character is missing. Whenever the like uses the underscore, it means a single character is missing. Got that? So when we use like, E underscore KA, it means a single character is missing. So where first name looks like this, if we run this code, the only first name that looks like that is Elka. Does that make sense to you? Now, another way we could do this is we could even remove the E and put LKA. It means, again, a single character is missing. You run this code and you're going to get LK again. All right? Now, on the other hand, if you write E, put a percentage there, which is the others, my regex did not go well. I don't know if I get it right. Sorry, Isaac, just hold on. I'm trying to get over like so that I come back to regex. Now, when you use the percentage, you don't mean a single character is missing. What you mean is a number of characters are missing. A number. So if you write E and percentage, you select these and run this code, you're going to have Elka coming out here from first name. But let's even try something else. Let's try R. Let's see if there's a name that starts with R. Select these, run it. You have Romola. It means R and anything after that. R and anything after that. Let's try B. If there is any first name with B, Barbara. So B and anything after that. So like is actually uses two characters. One of the characters is underscore. The second character is what? Percentage. Percentage means a number of characters. Underscore means just one character is missing. Okay? I now said to you that instead of you using like for instance, let's see, I'm going to show you something with like. I'm going to select these, run it. I want to use the like, and I want to be able to bring out this guy, McAfee. So I'm going to say, watch, I have to say, there are some characters missing in front, and the name has a, should we use GE or BE, or see if we can get something, an EL, and then there are some characters. So the name has in itself a last name. Are you there? So last name that has an EL in itself. Yes, Udemobong, it means a number of characters, or it might also even mean no character at all. So 0 to many, 0 to infinity. So if we put percentage here, put L and put percentage again, Apache, can you focus on the class first so that we can focus on the one we have on the table now? The link will be sent this evening. That's an assurance. But let's focus on this first. Stop distracting us with these questions, please. So, L, now if you select this and then you run, the outcome for this will be field. Can you see brush field? Because it has an L in it. And then twiddle, because it has an L in it. Does that make sense? Okay, now you see what we had to do with like. If we want to get the same outcome with regex, we don't even need to put any percentage. All we need to do is just put EL. That's all. No percentage. Now I'm going to select this and I will run. So if you followed me up to this point, you would realize that regex seems to do a whole lot better job than like. So most people prefer to use regex. It's called regular expressions. Now, if you also want to try out something at your spare time, I would say go and read about regular expressions. So that's your assignment. Really, if you want to commit to the journey you are going for as an analyst, you need to understand regular expressions. So, okay. I'm going to show you a few more things that we can do with this. Now, if you want to say, now you see, I said this, look at this. You see that exponential? I'm going to put that exponential right here. Whenever you put the exponential like it is now in front of L, run it. What did you notice? It gives you a null set. Now I'm going to take it off and then I'll come back and we'll show you something else. I'm going to run this again. Okay. I'll show you why that did not give you a null set. So I'm going to put double L because I want to get twiddle. And then I'm going to put this. Select this, run it. Why are you giving me an error? You shouldn't give me an error. Why are you giving me an error? Okay, one sec, guys. Let me see. I've mixed something up. Twiddle is ELLL. Yeah. So, okay. It should end with L. Last name should end with L. Okay. I'm not sure why I'm seeing an error here, but I need to figure it out. Because normally that should give me, that should generate something for us. L, Twiddle is, last name is ELL, Twiddle. And, okay, all right. I'll keep that, I'll check that out later. So I'm just going to keep that and check it out later. I can't figure it, and I don't want us to break the flow. Okay, So you've seen how to use percentage. You've seen how to use underscore. Let me also take you through another good use of regex. Now, another good use of regex would be if you want to try something like this. So I could say, so I'm going to put this. Now, another good use of regex is to try something like this. So I'm going to say, I'm going to look for last name. I would say A-G, S, and B. I'm going to explain it, don't worry. Yeah, please watch what I'm going to do. So I put the E outside like this. Run this code and see the outcome. Now, if you run this code, my friends, and you see the outcome, look at this. It says GSB and E for last name. So look at this last name. Now, if you watch this, it means any last name that has either what GE in it, or it has SE in it, or it has BE. That's what basically that means. Any last name that has either what GE, SE, or BE. Now, if you look at these Boji, it has GE. You look at SE. You look at, you have BE here in Bletchley, and then you have SE here in Nasby. Yeah? Okay, let's even narrow this down to just G and S. Just in case you want to be double sure. Select this, run it. If you look at that again, my friends, look at it in the light of what we typed. You have a GE in Boji, you have an SE in Roseburg, and you have an SE in Nasby. You could want to limit it a bit further and see if what we're saying makes sense. And then only SE, and you have Roseby and Nasby. So again, if you want to go the other way, you could even put the E this way. Put the E this way, and then use options like S and B, and see maybe SBL, and let's see where it takes us. Run this code, and you would notice that everything has to have ES. So do you have an ES here? No, we have an EL here. Can you see EL? You have EB, you have EL, and you have EB, which is another good use of regex. Now, between today is Saturday, between today and Tuesday, I would put exercises. I'm going to pull together some exercises that will task you to use these regex formulas and every other thing that we're going to learn today. Yeah. So there will be an exercise for you to try your hands on. So please when it comes to you, please pay attention to it, because that will also form part of your assessment. Okay. One last thing will be, you could as well use something like A to D, or A to B, or A to C. What this means that any name that has EA, EB, or EC, A to C. Any name that has EA, EB, EC. What is the operators used in regex? I said to you that the one we're going to use very soon, I will use this one. I'll take these two off for now, and I will use this today. Yeah, but on the video, I think I did all of them. So I'll share that video with you guys. I use all the operators, all of them. Yes, regex can be used for numbers. Yes, absolutely. Okay, now the next thing we might want to say is, if a name has a del in it, EDL, or you see the or operator, that or operator means a straight line, or the name has a NASB in it, SEB, select that name. You see DEL, like delete, SEB, you see, select that and then run this. Everything this will pull out will have either SEB, look at Rosebud, the Dell, and NASB. Okay, good job. Now, remember that when you are asking, A to C means a name having EA. Yes, absolutely, yes. Now, remember one thing, please, particularly for those who missed out on the first class. If you're using regex with a number, you don't use the apostrophes. So it could be something like a number that has 406 in it. Yeah, that's what it could be. But let's see if we can try one of them. Let's see. But this might fail. Let's see if it will fail because, well, you see that will work. Because if the phone was defined as a number, that works. But if it was defined as a string, you would need to put the apostrophe. Did you notice what I just did? Regex using phone 406. Yeah? Okay. All right. So that is a bit about regex. Allow me to introduce you guys also to another operator called the null operator. Null operator. Now, there are times when you want to be able to check, can regex be used for multiple tables? Absolutely, you can use regex for anything. Yes. You see where the regex comes in the where clause. So when you finish joining a table, we'll talk about joins today. So when you finish joining a table, the next thing you are going to have to do is to what? Bring in your where table, where this is this. So what is where? Where is a filter clause? Yeah, okay. So let's talk about the null table. Now, what would you do in a null table? Let's say you want to find out things like, still you want to select, we're talking about the read statement, where phone number, so phone, we want to see how many people did not, is null. What we're trying to see is how many of the customers did not give us their phone numbers. So let's see how that works. Select this, run. The only customer who did not give us their phone number is Clement. Regex, regex. Look at my spelling and your spelling. It means regular expression. Regular expression. That's the full meaning. Regular expression. Okay. Very well. You've seen how we could call in for nulls. Yeah, we're still building. Like IJK. I don't know what you mean, Joari. But I said regex. Look at the spelling I have up there. It's really clear. Regular expression. The first REG means regular. This other one means expression. All right? Yeah, someone has written it out there, regular expression. Okay, what can we do? Let's take this off. Where for now? Let's take the where clause off for now. Again, you can use them anytime. And let's talk about the order by. By default, I will remove this now and run this code. Look at this. Run this code. Now, if you run this code, my friends, look at the outcome. I want to make this bigger. Now, if you run this code like you can see, my friends, look at it. The outcome of what you see there of this code, it gives you the customer name, customer ID, first name, last name, birth date, phone, points, and all that you can have. Now, but the next thing you need to remember when you're running this code is that by default, the system will generate these answers, and it will sort itself in ascending order using the primary key. Did you see that? So this is what ascending order using the primary key. And what's primary key here? Customer ID. Now, but if I wanted to use perhaps points, I'm more interested in seeing the ones with the biggest point. What can I do? I could come here and say order by points. Now, if I say order by points, the system will now flip these around and order it by points. However, by default, it's still going to be what? Ascending order. Now, if I wanted to go the flip side, I have to declare that myself by putting the DSC code. The DSC code. And running it. The DESC code means descending order. All right? I hope you can hear me, you can see me, what I'm doing. So by descending order, you see the biggest ones come out first, the second biggest ones come out next, the third biggest comes out, the fourth biggest comes out, the fifth biggest comes out, sixth biggest, and then it goes right down to the one with the smallest point. Okay. Now, if you're working on big data, which could go as far as 100,000 rows, this is pretty small. It's just 10 rows. If you're working on big data, which could go for like 1,000, 200,000, 500,000 rows. Now, if you pull that data all at once, query and pull that data all at once, you will affect the system. It could cause the system to sag. Yeah, you would affect the computing power, the memory, and all of that. So in that case, we would now introduce you into another operator called the limit operator. The limit operator says, after you've pulled this, only 5 entries are important to me, the top 5. I hope you can see how the limit operator works. It limits it to what? Only 5. Okay. Are you there? What if we said, are we together? I could go with only 3, run this, and then I will get the only 3. Limit, yes, exactly what I said. Now, there are times too when you want the system to skip the first 10. Maybe it should skip the first 5 and give you the next 3. What it means is skip the first 5, give me the next 3. So I'm going to take this first off so that all of us can see what the next 3 would be. I'm taking this off. Then I will run the code. So let's say we take the first 5 off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6, 7, 2. The next one there is the 1, 4, 4, 8, 6. I am sorry for reminding you, our time for prayer is approaching in the next 10 minutes. Hassan, please delay prayers till after 4 o'clock, please. Yeah. Please delay the prayers till after 4. Please. Thank you. Yeah, please, our brothers, our Muslim brothers, please delay the prayers till after 4. please. I just want to introduce one or two more topics, and I will let you guys go for the day. I know we only have about 20 more minutes remaining, so please let's use it together. Thank you very much. Can I get your yes, our brothers from the Muslim from our brothers? Can I get like a 4 or 5 yes from you guys? Please, yes. Okay. No, I'm talking about our brothers who need to pray. Our Muslim brothers, can I get a yes from you? No, Nameka, I know you're not a Muslim. Wamiko, I'm not sure you're a Muslim. I need our Muslim brothers to assure me. Okay, Nasiru, thank you. Usman, okay, we can delay. Thank you very much. All right, cool. I want to introduce joins before we go, please. Now, so you see, if we skip, this is where we're going to come to. So I'm going to now bring that in. Limit 5 to 3 means skip the first 5 and give me the next 3. So we're going to run this. Did you notice what happened? It came from the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. So this is another good way you can use the limit operator. All right, cool. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about, which you are going to find quite rewarding, is what we call the joins. Now, it sounds difficult, but I want to promise you it's the simplest thing in the world you've ever done before. Yeah, it's the simplest thing you've ever done before in the world. So don't let anything make it look difficult to you. Okay, if you remember one of our classes when we were doing Tableau, I said to you that you don't analyze data in isolation. That sometimes you integrate one data to another data to really get context. Yeah. So if you don't integrate one data to another one, you may not enrich the context of your data. What that means is that often than not, yeah, you will need to join data. Now, we're going to start by doing simple joins. So we're going to do 2 or 3 codes. One will be a very simple join. Another one could be a bit complex. And then we will leave it for them today and then meet again after on Saturday. Yeah. But please, I want to plead with every one of you. I'll be sharing that video this evening. Try to finish up with it because we have more things to do and I don't want us to go back repeating ourselves again. All right. Okay. A simple join looks like this. So select. Again, I'm just going to make it say, let's get everything, select everything from orders. There's a table called orders. Are you there? Now, there's a table called orders, but I want to, you see, orders are made. How did you skip in the limit operator? We've passed that place, my friend. Please rewatch. Everything is on the video. I promise you guys. Now, you see, orders are made by customers. So for you to analyze your business in terms of orders very well, you may also want to know who are my biggest customers. You got that? Who are my biggest customers? So this is where you want to integrate orders with customer table. Okay, so this is the table you are working on. It's called orders. Are you there? Now, these orders that you're working on, it's already in the what? Look at the SQL data. Let me show you. This is the database we're working on, SQL store. That's the one we're working on. You could open it up and see for yourself the columns in there. There's a customer table. There is a what? Order table, orders. Can you see orders? Yeah. So what we are doing is we're trying to see all the orders that were made. You can select these and run it. Select from orders. Why don't we have that answer coming out? So I'm going to double click on this. or you set it correctly for yourself. Except you can set that to SQL store. I hope you know why I'm doing that. Setting the table, the database before the table. Select these, run it. So these are all the orders that you did. And like you can see, there are customers here that pull this thing. Yeah. So for us to be able to have that conversation deeper, what do? I join it. What do I join it with? I join it with the customer table, because here, what do I see? From the order table, what do I see? I only see customer ID. I don't even know what the customer is. Who the customer is. So I want to see his name. I want to know who he is. I want to know why he's buying from us. So I want to go and I want to know where he lives. So I bring this SQL store, which is the database, then the table. You see, when you join, so what this means is orders, I want to join with this guy. All right, cool. You must always define what is the join parameter. I'm going to explain what this means. So now on here, I'm going to pick this guy. Dot. It's really looking long, but not to worry. You can make this look shorter if you want to. I'll show you how to make it all look shorter. So you see, there is customer ID here. And what we are trying to get is the customer name. We want to see who he is. So I can use this from orders. So I can use this customer ID. So I'm saying when this is equals to the one on the customer table. So there must always be a basis to talk. Let me explain to you guys. Imagine that EcoBank, I'm sure everyone here lives in Nigeria, or you have a stint with Nigeria. So EcoBank wants to know how many of their staffs have moved to Zenith Bank. Does that make sense? So they are joining their HR, EcoBank HR. All their HR in the last 50 years, all the staffs they've had, they are joining it to what? The HR table for what? For Zenith Bank. Does that make sense? Now, the basis for joining this thing will be what? The basis for joining this will be every staff that has the same phone number here and has the same phone number here, because if we find staff that have the same phone number in EcoBank and have the same phone number in what? Or national or NIN in EcoBank and had that same NIN in Zenith, it means that that staff is the same person. So we're looking for staff that have worked with EcoBank and that have worked with Zenith Bank in their lifetime. We want to see the level of attrition, the attrition rate. So you must always have a basis for comparing. Now, please give me the next 10 minutes and I'll wrap this up. Speaking about the basis of comparing, you see, whenever you set the join like this, you see this join will always return what we call an inner join. So if we were comparing EcoBank and Zenith Bank, the outcome of this join you are seeing here will only be the staffs if we are using NIN as the basis of the join. The outcome of this will be what? Only staffs that have worked between these two banks will only come out here. If the staffs have not worked in both banks, you will see their name come out on the output. So every time you use join like this, remember it's an inner join, So take this and run it, and you're going to have exactly what you want. However, I don't want to stop at having what I want. I want to make this look a bit cleaner. So I want to look for specific things. So let's look for specific things. I promise you guys. So please, continue. We can go 2 hours. We have to respect those two that are going to pray. So give us 10, 15 minutes and we're going to wrap up, please. So order ID. Are you there? Customer, let's say order date. What other thing can we go? Customer name. So let's look at the first name. So let's see customer name. So let's see first name, which is like the customer name. What else should we see? Let's see their phone numbers. What else should we see here? Let's see their city. All right, cool. So I'm going to select these. Come on, stop. So I'm narrowing what we're doing. And then see, we have this. This order one, see the date it was done. That's the customer that ordered it. That's the phone number of the customer, and that is the Chicago where he lives. So you see, we have been able to successfully join two databases. You see, what we did here, we can make it look a lot simpler. I'm going to copy. Hey man, respect yourself. Let me copy this and make it look very simple. But first, to achieve that, I must set up this. So it must be at superstore level. So I have set the, I have set the database active. So because I have set the database active, I will remove this one, SQL store. I will remove SQL store. I will remove, because I've set the database and it's the same database that they're coming out from. I'll remove this. You see, if I select this and run it, I should get the same. No, you remove this. Oh, sorry. This should be orders dot. Yeah. All right. So look at that. I've stripped it off the database name, so it's still correct. Okay. Let's do 2 or 3 more tricks, and then we'll let this go. Now you see orders. We can put an alias. Semicolon, sir, is not a comma. What is that? I don't know what you're saying though. That's semicolon to end the stuff. Yeah, so to end a query. I didn't use any comma. I only use commas to separate the fields that would show. Yeah, Bisol, I hope you're seeing what I'm saying. The fields that would show, that's why we use commas. When we're ending a statement like this or like this one, you use semicolons. All right, let's quickly look at 2 things before we call it a day. Now, look at this. If you put O and O here, yes, you have to use a primary key to do this comparison. Yeah. So you put an O here and you put a C here. It's called an alias. So it means that these orders is now going to be called an O, and these customers is now to be called a C. Because of these alias that you have put here, this code will be wrong. This code will be wrong. If you select this code and run it, it will give you what? An error. The reason why this code will give you an error is that it no longer recognizes the word orders. Are you there? So the only way this code will understand that is you remove the orders and return it to O, and then you remove the word customer's ID to return it to what? A C. Now, if you select these and run it, you would have the best of outcomes. Okay? Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. All right. Do you still have 5 minutes? Should I do 5 more minutes? Okay. Now, I want to give you a simple one before we go. Let me give you a simple one before we go. Please, 5 minutes, a simple thing before we go. We don't have all that time, glory, gospel glory. We don't have all that time. Yeah. But please, I beg of you guys, I'm sending you guys a video that I have taken time out to explain in details. Please pay attention to that video. A lot is on that video. I've explained literally everything in details. Please. All right. I don't want us to repeat ourselves by next class. There's a lot I want us to cover by next class. All right. There are instances where we join a table to itself. Okay? So to help us do that, we're going to go to what? The SQL HR. This one, SQL HR. I've activated it now. And I will call it, I would say select everything from, there's a table I want to pick up there. It's called the employee table. Yeah? Select these, run it. It comes out. Now, if you look at this employees table, there is a report to, if you look at it, scroll down, you would notice that everybody here reports to the same number. Can you see? Reports to the same number. Now, we want to be able to get their managers. So what are we going to do? Everybody reports to the same person, really. But this person here does not report to anybody, and that person seems to be the one that everybody reports to. Can you see? 37270. Okay. Now let's do this, my friends. So call this one what? E. E. Then join it to what? Itself. The same table, join it to itself. And then M. Call that one M. You see, the same table, I joined it to what? Itself. Now, but see what I'm going to do. Using the on, which is the on is where we define the unique keys that we're going to use to join them. All right? Stay with me. So I'm going to say E, employee ID. I mean, no, we shouldn't use employee ID. Let's use this guy, report to. So from the E table, we want to get the report to guy. So what does the report to guy mean? So we're going to get report to, which is this place. Stay with me, guys. Don't worry, in 5 minutes, I'm going to let you guys go. Just stay with me. E report to, I'm going to say E report to is equals to E dot. So I'm mapping this to this report that I want to figure out who this person is. Are we together? But now it's M, which is the other table. So M, employee ID. Please, I will beg you to think about what I'm doing. I know it might not. Don't remember the last class I said to you guys that SQL is all about logic. It just craves your thinking. That's it. Yeah, it craves your thinking. Okay, so I'm going to select this and I will run it. Now, if you notice employee ID, everything comes out, reports to this person, then it brings in that same employee ID again, but this time around, it fills up this. How do we get the alias? You just, anything you use as alias. Alias is spelled A-L-I-A-S. Now, I'm going to choose what I want. I want to go with what I want. So employee underscore ID, yeah, comma, first name. I want to get their first name, so I will get their, let me leave their last name. Let me get their, now, you see, I'm going to pull something here now. I'm going to get, I want to get their manager. So how do I get their manager now? Report to this. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this. M dot first name. You get that? M dot first name as what? Manager. You know what the as does, Abi? So employee ID first name, M dot first name. Why does that not work? Okay, there is no comma between them. All right, so I'm going to select this and I will run it. Okay, there's a mistake there. Let's see what the mistake is. Employee ID, first name, M dot first name as manager. From this, join it to this. Okay, one sec. Okay, I'll show you where the mistake is. Yeah, I'm going to take this, put it as E dot employee ID. Put this as E dot, because it's the same table against itself. Yeah? Yes, it's the same table against itself. So select this, run this again. That should work now. You see, because it's the same table against itself, you must declare what you're using. Now, before you go, please, before you go, I want to remind you of something. Employee ID, first name, see their manager. The same person like you can see. Now, what have you noticed? Please be careful. Watch this before you leave. Please watch this before you leave. If you scroll this from beginning to the very end, what if we use job title? Okay, was there something like job title there? Let's add it now. Let's add it. It makes sense. Job title. Again, it would be good for you to put where it's coming from. So C dot this. So again, it's up to you what you want to have in there. Not there's an error there. So show me where the error came. It came with this job title idea. Sorry, there's no C, it's E. I'm beginning to rush. Did you see job title? Did I spell it properly? Did you guys see job title? Okay, I could take it off and look for it. I'm just try not to rush. Where did you find job title? Okay, title. Yeah. Okay, so we can now bring that in. Let's see where we got it wrong. So E dot job title, then comma, M dot first name. Okay, let's run this. Yeah. Okay, your job title is there. I'm sure we didn't spell it well. So you see this employee, first name, the job title, her manager. Yeah. Now, the last thing I was trying to tell you guys before you caught me on that, if you look at this thing, my friends, you would notice that this Yovona, you wouldn't find that anywhere here again. You remember I said something to you that by default, the system does what we call an inner join, meaning that you must have something here and you must have something here. Yeah. So there is other kinds of joins. One of them is called the left join. Now, the left join, if we do the left join, we did this in Tableau class, if you guys remember. Yeah. And if I can, you see, by doing the left join, we are able to bring this guy back. If I can, I will look for a video for you guys this weekend on joins. It's something I believe you should have a very good hand on. It shouldn't be more than 5 minutes. You can go on YouTube and check joins. Yeah. Understanding joins, left, right, inner joins, and outer joins. You see, the left joins, right joins are all called outer joins in SQL. But you should be wary of them. Yeah, except you really know what you're doing. Particularly be wary of the right join, and what you call the normal joins. In the video I'm going to be sending to you guys, I explained that right joins and normal joins are something you should be wary of all the time. Yeah. Okay. Please, we have to stop here to let other people go and pray. And then, like I promised you guys, I've curated a video to help you walk through this from start to finish. So the video covers everything we've done today and more. So please try and finish up what we didn't finish today. We will start a new topic by Saturday. So it covers what we did last week and what we did this week, and even more. So we will not go back to the video again by next week. We'll go to something new. So please, I plead with you, try and cover what we've not covered. Thank you very much. Asandia, what you are asking for, M first name. You know, we are joining, look, we are joining the table. This one, employees against employees. Yeah. Link to the video will be sent on the Telegram channel once it comes to me later today. Yeah, so you will get it. It's a promise. And then within the week, I will send you guys practice tasks for you to get your hands dirty based on the lessons that you have learned. All right, so you were joining employees, give it an alias of E, and then employee, an alias of M. Yeah, so same table, but joining it to itself. All right. Thank you very much and see you guys next week. Have a great evening and bye. How did it